What it do, y'all? It's Ty back with Trace Relations. I know it's been a minute since we've had a video out. I apologize for that. We're going to try and stay a little more consistent. But we're back with another The Dr. John Delony Show review. This one's called Should We Tell Our Nanny What Her Husband Did? Ooh, okay. So let's go ahead and get into this. I'm kind of ready for this.
Do we tell our nanny that her husband propositioned my wife?
Whoa,
Awesome.
whoa, whoa,
And good
whoa,
morning.
whoa, whoa, whoa. Propositioned, buddy. Let me hear
To
this.
you, right?
Yeah.
Tell me about what
Yeah.
happened, man.
So some quick background. We've had our nanny for about 10 years now. She helped raise both our children.
Oh, so she's not a nanny. She's a family member.
She became family. Her and her husband both had become family to us.
Wait,
over
let me hear
10
that.
years. They have no
Okay.
kids of their own.
Over
so our kids
10
basically,
years.
of course, became their kids
Yeah.
too. So that's,
Holy shit.
that's
Okay.
all our kids know is them first dating them, and they've been a huge part of their lives and ours, and it's been great for 10 years, and they're a huge help for us. To sprinkle in some other context, she is currently battling stage 4 cancer, and she has been for the past year.
Yep. Because why not? Yeah.
She beat it about 5 years ago, once before, and then it came back, and now it's stage 4, and she is a strong woman, and she's fighting again. So we have all the hope in the world for her, and she's got a lot of strength. So we're rooting for her, and she's doing great. And she never stopped working through that time. She was watching the kids, never had issues,
Wow.
still showing up. He would often help her and come as a support for her husband, to help with the kids when she was tired or sick. So it was still amazing watching those two also help together. So that's been great until, of course, just recently, as you could tell from the question. So a few weeks back, there was a short gap in time. She couldn't watch our kids, so he volunteered to fill about a one hour gap that we had in our schedules, which he's done before, and it works out great. So he was there when my wife got home to take over, and he asked to speak to her in private, which she did outside with him, thinking that one of the kids may be in trouble. But he proceeded to tell her how gorgeous she was, not just beautiful, but gorgeous, and that he sees how she looks at him, and just completely shocked and mortified my wife.
that little eyebrow raise.
And she, was basically stunned. And she said,
So evidently
hey,
she wasn't looking at him like that.
That's the first thing she said. I'm not sure what you thought I was looking at you like, but that's not at all
Not like that.
what I want.
Oh,
happily married, and you need to think of your poor wife right now, what she's going through. I can't believe you even asked me that. He then said, I can be discreet. I've been in the military. I've been discreet before, and just completely blew her mind as to what he was telling her, just in shock, right?
Yeah, dude.
So
Wow.
she called me and told me. I left my work engagement and came right home and talked to her because she was just, in shock and just very uncomfortable. She was very upset. So I asked him to talk to me, and he did. The next day we spoke, and I made it very clear and drew a boundary that I said, hey, here's what I heard happened. He did not deny it. He said, yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know why I did that. I shouldn't have acted, and I feel dumb now. And I said, well, you feel dumb because you got shot down. But just so you know, you are not welcome at my house anymore. My wife doesn't want to see you anymore. She's extremely uncomfortable. She's devastated. And you've broken 10 years of, trust and love from our family. And we just can't believe this is even happening.
Dude, can I just
Let me stop that there real quick. There's been, ever since the call started, I've been wanting to say something, but I'm gonna hold to it. I mean, I know I pause a lot, y'all, so we're only gonna pause whenever we can catch everything up. But this is just, man. So the nanny currently has cancer. Beat it once, came back. But this is to a point, like they were saying, they're family now. You know what I mean? You know someone for 10 years. 10 years is a long time whenever you put it through the fact that, oh my gosh, I'm surprised this man didn't end up beating him up. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna hold language to a minimum. I'm not trying to start throwing everything, but that's your I don't know how close the husband was with this man on the call, but over the point of 10 years where you're trusting some me personally, whenever I have a kid, I don't have any kids yet, but this is me talking for like the future me. If I am to trust someone to watch my kid, I'm gonna have to be able to trust them like with me. You know what I mean? I'm gonna have to be able to hang out with them. I'm gonna have to be like cool with them. You know what I mean? So to a point that this is like a brotherly figure propositioning your wife like that. And then not only that, but like you got your sisterly figure, right? Going through cancer. And then you're like, wait a minute, whoa, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like that's insane. I need to hear more. That's honestly insane.
Like, pause for a second. High five to you, dude.
He handled
Like,
that professionally, though.
good
You
on
know what I
you.
mean? I'm gonna be honest.
And because you didn't act like an idiot, you didn't like bang on his door at 3 a.m. But you did like good on you. Like if for everybody listening, that's how you handle that situation. So good on you, man.
My friends wanted to. A couple of them
Of
wanted
course
to
they
form a
did, and that, you know
posse,
what?
but
That's what your buddies are for. That's what your buddies are for. To be like, let's go right now. That's what they're for. But
yeah,
like that's a mature, grown-up way to handle this. So I'm like that. You just gave a perfect model of somebody that you love and
Self-control.
trust propositions your wife. God forbid that happen to anybody listening, but it does happen. That's how you handle it. She handled it perfectly. She called you. She said, like, here's my boundaries. You like, good for you, man. Like that's awesome. Okay.
Yeah. So, and he was receptive to it. He understood. I said, you know, it's up to you to tell her, you know, your wife how, you know, why you can't come over or why you shouldn't come over. Initially, that was what I told him, and now he controls that narrative. But you know, talking to my wife more, we're like, I really feel horrible knowing that she has no idea. She's kind of the stooge here. What's going on? And you know, he is such a religious, church-going, leads ministry and charity. This guy, I mean, he was a picture-perfect just model for a Christian man too, which adds to the complete just blowing our minds that this happened. Just unbelievable.
Yeah.
So now it's like, well, should we be honest with our nanny and tell her what happened?
Yes, you have to.
Knowing that she's currently undergoing so much stress and stage 4 medical treatments and completely shattering her world.
Here's the deal. Her world, that doesn't happen in a vacuum. So that won't be the first time that's happened. She knows there's distance. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, y'all see it from one lens. She experiences this on a day in and day out. She knows that there's something wrong, amiss in her marriage.
Yeah.
And if she doesn't, if she's completely clueless, I guess y'all have built 10 years of deep trust. Trust so deep you let her stand in your stead with your children, the most prized possession you have on planet Earth.
Yeah.
And if she were to come home and see your wife with another man, your expectation would be that she would honor your relationship enough to tell you the truth. Fair?
Oh, fair. Yeah.
And vice versa. Your wife would expect her if she came home to drop the kids off and a young woman was walking out of your house, the right thing to do would be to tell your wife. And so, yeah, I think the external circumstances are heavy and big and all that, but I think it has to come with a boundary. And here's what I mean by that. We're not just telling you to hand you a grenade. We're telling you because we love you and because it's not right for us to keep this from you. And you are always welcome in our home. He is not.
Yeah.
And I would be stunned if this is the first time this has come up in their marriage. Maybe.
Yeah, she's very, very, I mean, undying optimist, the most positive person you could ever meet.
Yeah, but that can be a trauma response too.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if that's just because she really just sees the best in everything and she's oblivious to some of that,
or because
if
she
really
has to.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of what she lives with at home. And unfortunately, I have worked in faith-based circles long enough that it doesn't surprise me one bit. Not even a teeny tiny little bit. Those are people too.
Yeah.
So
How do we even?
I don't know, man. Uh this whole time I've just been thinking like, cause the thing about doing this, where we can go back and watch the video is the point that we can get so many different perspectives of what's going on, right? And something that's just constantly been scratching at my brain while I've been watching this is she's going through said stage four cancer right now again after it came back. So I'm assuming she's probably going through chemotherapy. If y'all don't know, chemotherapy is very like it's an intensive physical like draining experience. You know what I mean? I can't talk from experience, but what I've seen, what I've heard, and it's almost like, man, do you really like? I know you want to let this woman know what happened, but do you really want to like let her know at this point, like in this very moment? I know generally most people would be like, yeah, like let her know during this point, but man, that's just one of them things you got to think about, because the mental damage that could cause as well, on top of the physical and emotional damage that's already being caused by the chemotherapy and then dealing with cancer as is. Man.
Go about that conversation? Is that just my wife to her, and then
no, it's both of you.
It's a complete shock to her. How do we handle that? I mean,
it's both of you together. Well, here's the deal. She's an adult.
Okay.
She's an adult.
Yeah.
She's not a teenager. She's not a child.
Yeah.
She's an adult. And she's a member of your family at this point. And so you sit her down and facts to your friends. You tell her very directly, this is going to be the hardest conversation we've ever had to have with you. And number one, we are not letting you go. You are a part of our family. You are always welcome in our home. Number two, here's what happened. Because anytime you sit down, somebody, even if they're this like quote unquote family member or close, she's still an employee, and the first thing she's going to think is y'all letting her go.
Okay.
But you give her a heads up.
And we've also, recommended her to others and friends of ours that they also sit for too.
Great.
And I'm just like, boy, I feel like there's some liability with at least knowing that this behavior is there. I don't know if that's something I should extend to others or just completely keep within a family as our own issue. Because it could just be an obsession with, my wife, and that could be where it ends.
Yeah,
I
say, this stuff it rarely happens in a vacuum. Maybe there's just star-crossed lovers, or maybe he's a star-crossed lover, right?
I'm gonna say.
And my heart kind of goes out to him, dude.
Something I was just thinking of, like another side note. They were saying that there's a lot of other people that have like this experience with them, so they're asking, if they should let them know. Is that normal to have like I know there's some people that start up like a daycare, but like a nanny babysitting thing like that goes over the span of 10 years. That's actually crazy. If you could carry it on that long, like this. I mean, like infinite money glitch. Kids, and more kids. Get in with the right families, right groups. You're set. But my bad.
Because he sounds like me in high school. Like I would talk to a girl in my class, be like, I could tell we have, and she's like, yeah, you're telling way wrong, right? So, this is just a whole different level. I think the biggest thing you and your wife need to do is y'all have to deal with the grief violation.
Yeah.
And it's easy to, when we're grieving, to put a bunch of weight on all these other things that we know we have to do. And so I want y'all to separate it. And it's the old saying, not by your hand, but in your lap. Right? This guy walked in and blew up 10 years of stability in your life.
Yeah.
And it may be that at the end of the day, your wife says, I'm not comfortable with her being our nanny anymore.
Damn.
And I'm like, just hearing this cold, that would probably be my bent. Unfortunately, we can't have you here anymore.
She's made it pretty clear that she definitely doesn't want her to feel like she can't come over.
I get that. But I mean, just think big picture. And at some point, you may be asking this woman to choose between her marriage and her job. And again, she's an adult. She gets to do what she's going to do. But that's why I say, like, it can't just come with a, hey, we just want to tell you this. It needs to come with a boundary. He cannot come over here anymore. He cannot watch our kids anymore. He can't be in this house anymore. He can't text us. He can't call us. The only reason you're allowed back in here is because we trust you implicitly.
Yeah.
And we're going to strongly recommend he does not show up at any of the people's houses we've recommended, because now we feel an obligation.
Okay, and luckily her time is now reduced a bit because our kids are older and we have school, so it's not full time. So it wouldn't be a giant impact, which makes me feel a bit better too if she chooses not to keep coming. But
and y'all need to make plans for that, because she may be super embarrassed and she may choose to say, I'm gonna let y'all go.
Yeah.
Right. And so again, somebody walked in your living room, this man, and dropped a grenade in there, and y'all are handling it the best you can. But it's just, I think it's gonna come with ramifications, and I think you guys trying to preserve what y'all had is you're gonna have to reimagine what is, right? And what that means is you're gonna have to reimagine. Oh, she's all by herself. If she's gonna stay our nanny, he's not welcome here. So if there needs to be an hour gap in coverage, we have to figure that out. Is that something we can still do, or we need it if we have a nanny that works for us? We need all the gaps covered, because that's kind of the role. Or what happens if she quits? She's just embarrassed and ashamed, and this has happened before, and she quits.
Yeah, I'm just hoping it's not a complete blindside. And if it is, I'm just like, boy, with what she's already going through, I feel so bad because she doesn't have a lot of options or money.
Well, and let me tell you this. I want y'all to be really prepared. Oh, man, if I had more time, I'll tell you a 30-second clip. Well, no, I won't get into it. This is several years ago, so I haven't checked the data, but a ton of police officer shootings, when police officers get hurt, is when they show up to domestic disputes and they get involved, and the spouse that made the call sees their significant other who was just in the process of abusing them getting arrested, and the person who made the call ends up hurting the officers.
Oh.
Why is that relevant here? I would give it a 50-50 chance that her husband, when she comes home, says that woman, like, asked me to come into the bathroom real quick, and she ended up taking all her clothes off, and I had to get out of that house as fast as possible. And flips the whole thing, and that woman comes at y'all with a vengeance. I want y'all just
now I told him I'm not going to tell her you can, but then I was like, well, crap, now he controls the whole narrative, which also kind of worried me.
Well, even if you do tell her, he controls whatever he wants to say.
Yeah.
And the chances of a stage 4 cancer survivor who's in the midst of it, going through it, psychologically, I can't wrap my head around this part of my life also falling out from underneath me. Already, I can't trust my physical body. Now I can't trust this guy I've been married to for 20, 30 years. And so psychologically, y'all have to become the bad guys. Otherwise, my world turns to dust.
The one blessing that we have in this whole situation was that as it happened, the front door was open and he asked to speak outside. We caught the first part on the Ring camera. We have the recording. And it's just of him saying, hey, come talk to me. Right as the door closes, hey, I wanted to, and then it cuts out.
Wow.
If he knew that, it's by
it's that thing, y'all. Hey, I'm also going to mention, it's crazy. It's crazy that the fact that, Ring and all these security cameras and stuff like that you can add on to your homes, it's expensive as is, right? But then you get it, and then you can't even get the full access. You gotta pay for like a subscription. Let me just be honest with y'all. That subscription will save y'all's life. Just stack up a little bit of bread and buy the yearly bundle. Yearly bundle at most, like max would be $300. You know what I mean? That's $300 a year. You can't make $300 a year. you shouldn't have bought a $400 security system. You know what I mean? That's just my opinion. But I mean, you just got to think about it, because yes, in this situation, it's totally different. It's about, a man and a wife talking together. It can happen for anything. Imagine a crime happened right in front of that door and it only caught the first few seconds, and now you can't convict the felon because it's not all the way on camera. You don't know what happened after it cut off. Or, someone comes up and tries to fucking I'm sorry. I really tried not to cuss y'all. I'm gonna have to get a swear jar or something like that and do like donations. But or like someone tries to break into your house, rob into your house, and they can't get through the door. So then they go up and get in your car, and then they show you slashing your car up and stuff like that. Anything like that can happen. So, y'all, I know it sucks that, these companies want to charge you a subscription to use full access, but y'all don't want to have something happen and you didn't pay for the extra memory in your cloud, so you can't go back and find that video. So just a little mindful thought. If y'all are gonna go out and buy these systems, y'all might as well save up for the subscriptions it comes with.
Motion, so she kept trying to move on the front porch to make it record. Unfortunately, it didn't, because she was like, "Oh my God," she wanted that unrecorded. But at least the first part with him, asked her to come talk in private, that is recorded and captured.
Okay, so I would probably lead with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, what's right is to somebody that you trust, who trusts you, you've supported, you've walked alongside, someone who is a family member needs to be told the truth. Particularly given that it was your wife that was propositioned in this deal. And then y'all need to make sure you have that conversation directly, clearly, with a boundary. And I would let her know, hey, we need to have a really challenging conversation. And if you feel obligated, you can tell husband, hey, you got 24 hours. We're going to have a conversation with her. I don't think he deserves that. I don't think it's worth that. That's y'all's level of relationship. If you feel close to him over 10 years, you might want to give him a heads up. Hey, we're talking to your wife today. Or after you have the conversation. But I wouldn't personally, but you can feel free to do that.
Ooh, 10 years, bro.
Again, not by your hand, but in your lap. Your life as you
10
knew
years,
it
man.
is now
If this was a reaction channel, y'all hear a different opinion.
Blew it up. And now it's about what's right for you and your family moving forward. How can you love and support this woman, if that's even a possibility, if she allows that? And then you and your wife got to grieve what was. It was a pretty awesome setup. And unfortunately, somebody came and blew it up. All you can do is the next right thing for you and your family. And I don't ever want somebody to cash in their character, their integrity. They start holding secrets from loved ones, people that they trust, because it gets weird and awkward. We're going to hang on to our integrity. We're going to go do the next right thing, even if it feels like it blew everything up, but it didn't. It may just reveal what somebody else just blew up. Sorry this happened, my brother. Thanks for being a man of character. Let me know how that conversation goes, man. I'm kind of invested in this one now.
Yeah, man. Most of all, just betrayal right there. 10 years. 10 years, and it's just over because of that, Man. If y'all like this video, be sure to go check out Dr. John Delony. Amazing advice as always. And like the video down below. So let me know in the comments what else y'all want to see. Stay safe. Love y'all. Peace.